Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's percolating. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too. Java. Percolating. Get a vibe, stay ready. Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady. Pull up a chair, yeah. Take a sip with me. Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning. Yeah, the love percolating. Yeah, Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy. Percolating. Yeah, we in it. Yeah, we in it. Good morning. Good morning. Java with Jimmy.
All right, we got it. We got it. Before y'all get me, we have the audio. Good. It is Monday, June 15th, 2026, and it is Juneteenth week. It is Mental Health Monday. We are also in the midst of a few events going on with the waterfront over the next couple of weekends as well. Interesting week, very busy week. Have few things to do today, but do me a favor and invite others into the Java Cafe. Share this, ask them to be a part of the conversation this morning. It is Mental Health Monday, and we're going to check in around Black mental health. A lot of interesting things have been going on for centuries, for decades, but we're going to talk a little bit about it and the perspective that some may have in reference. So I'll be honest, as it's Mental Health Monday, I'm struggling on two fronts this month. One is Pride and one is Juneteenth. And there is some couple of factors that play off of each other as far as my perspective from a mental health, excuse me, a perspective in reference to both Pride and Juneteenth, our Black joy. And so, again, invite others to be a part of the conversation. Again, welcome to the Java Cafe this morning. Let's go in the Instagram section. No one has arrived over there yet. Let's go in the Facebook section and see who is in so far this morning. And we can definitely count on our faithful members of the Java Cafe who are here. And I am thankful for each and every one of you to start off with Good Trouble Java, Dina Marshall Tarver, who I'll be reaching out to get one of those little wonderful blankets that she came up with. Dina is very talented. She's a craftswoman and she does a lot around crafts and ties, and was sort of a pioneer in this space of creating the ties that you women are wearing with pearls and all that other stuff. Nisi, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Mama Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Also, good morning to Sister Debbie. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Let's hop over. And I don't know where the Instagram people are at this morning, but folks are coming into the Facebook section of the Java Cafe. So, again, it is Mental Health Monday. We will be sort of in a quick shot today. I have to drop right at 10:30 because I have to be somewhere right at 11 a.m. So, yes. And Dina, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So let's begin to have a conversation about what I just shared with you. It is Mental Health Monday, and in the context of Juneteenth this week, and also this is Pride Month. I'm not really feeling either. And I'll start off with, I guess I would say, pride, which can lead a little bit into a maybe overall perspective of Juneteenth, but in the general of a lot of the performative support, parade sponsoring, floats, and things that happen during Pride Month, not for all entities and individuals and organizations, but looking at Pride Month versus your everyday policies can be interesting. There's another perspective that would take me into sort of the Juneteenth perspective. And I've talked about this before. It's Mental Health Monday. If you're just joining, and I'm giving my perspective of feeling sort of meh in reference to Pride and Juneteenth. And so, additionally, within the LGBTQI, hold on, LGBTQIA2S plus community, a brother like me who, I say it often, and it's no offense to anyone. I'm out, but I'm not a flag carrier. You know what I mean? And I was on, where did this almost happen? Oh, I was on a panel on Friday, and the topic came up. And I almost said some things the way I just said that in a very interesting manner. And so there aren't spaces for dudes like me that just want to chill with other dudes like me without all the things and all the stuff. And that's no disparaging view. It's just not my thing. And so, from a pride perspective, not feeling the performative stuff, and additionally, within the context of dudes like me, there's still racism, elitism within the LGBTQIA2S plus. There needs to be a way to shorten that. Y'all can, it is a lot. LGBTQIA2S plus. Okay, I guess. Anyway, also, Juneteenth is a similar perspective for me as far as the performative piece. Your daily policies, and especially since November of 2024, are your policies on a day-to-day perspective celebrating the culture, the hairstyles, the food options, the vernacular, the just the way that we are? Is that appreciated all year long, or are you putting up on your calendars and you serving fried chicken the day before Juneteenth with macaroni and cheese and collard greens in your cafeteria? Like, that's a good thing, I guess. But it's Mental Health Monday, and so that's the perspective that I have. And I wanted to ask you all also, since listening to me, to get you into the conversation specifically around Juneteenth and the topic we talk about on this platform often, Black Boston. I'll just leave that right there. On a good note, I have to celebrate Sister Stephanie Everett, who yesterday curated the inaugural Juneteenth breakfast. And it was a great event. Stephanie had dancers. Stephanie had with her planning committee and sponsors. She had a small group of folks to start off the first year because it was free and the breakfast was good. And so it wasn't, it was publicized, but it's going to be, I believe, more open next year. And so it was a great event. And we got to run into some people, some some former leaders still active to some perspective. Former state rep Marie St. Fleur was there. Who else was there that's a former elected? Charlotte Golorici was a part of the committee. There were other current elected officials. Brian Worrell was there. China Tyler was there. DA Kevin Hayden was there. Ed Markey was there. Nick Collins was there. LaToya Gale was there. I'm trying to spin the room and see who else was. Oh, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley and Brother Conan was there as well. And so it was a great event, and I was glad to be there. And I also, I did it for, I attended for Stephanie's sake, because I think it was a great idea of what she's doing. And I will just say that I have to give myself credit for restraint this Mental Health Monday. So I'll just leave that right there. So shout out to Stephanie Everett. But I want to ask you all, what is your mommy? Good morning. How are you? What is your, let me ask, how do you handle as Black folks, others can answer as well, but I'm focusing on our Black experience. How do you handle when you feel that you're being engaged in a performative manner? The engagement is not sincere. The engagement is because it's the right thing to do. And sometimes, which makes me think of Bishop Bragg, that often had to remind me there were some things because it was, oh, Miss Teresa's going to kill me. Hold on. I put this cup in the dishwasher and it's faded a little bit. Uh-oh. Brother Doubleday is in the room. I don't show up and take notes on who is asking. I'm going to leave. I think I got the context of that. I'm going to leave that right there. Brother Rich, what's going on, man? It's not all of, is that not all of politics? So, okay, I got the context for both of you. Rich, it's interesting in these times, my perspective around this. And so, unfortunately, there is an experienced and from some demonstrated perspective experience of performance of elected officials, top to bottom, present, past, and maybe some to come. In that, with your question, I won't say all. There are some, a Chuck Turner, a Mel King, others that were about the people. And it's not saying that everybody right now isn't about the people, but by this question was asked for a reason. And there's a general concept of politicians and performance, but all right, I'm not going to get too far into that. But it's the elected officials in the perspective of people performing and how you engage, how you handle when you recognize it. That's sort of the perspective I'm looking at this morning in reference to Juneteenth. And as all politics, a local, an example that I brought up around how Black Boston is feeling going into Juneteenth. We're going to see the post. We're going to see the attendance of events. We're going to see the pictures. I started this conversation off for those of you that are just joining. I started this conversation off as it is Mental Health Monday to check in with the community, the Black community specifically, about how you're feeling as we're going into Juneteenth. And also, I have observed online comments about what has evolved into Boston's kind of biggest event, which is at Franklin Park. And there's a lot of conversation around the new location due to White Stadium construction. Who's the partners? It was originally Roxbury Homecoming. So there's stuff within, and then there's stuff on the external that I just thought about this yesterday when I decided what we were going to talk about. To really, if I'm thinking about this, that means that other people are seeing it and thinking about it as well. A presumption there, but I think I'm pretty much on point with that presumption. And so, how are you feeling? And I am here today because holding down the fort. I have shared with you, and at some point, if he wants to, when he comes on, Uncle Thaddeus can share. But I had asked you a few times last week to keep Uncle Thaddeus in your prayers as he was not feeling well. And I had intention on having Uncle Thaddeus speak with us today about approaching Juneteenth. We're still going to do this. How do we lean into Black joy despite a lot of the things that I just mentioned? And so, Uncle Thaddeus, I'm glad that you are feeling better. Good to see you here online. And we love and appreciate you. And the Java family has been praying, especially the Mother's Board have been praying. So we appreciate you, brother. Brother D is letting us know it's wavy in here, and his mental health is always wavy. Waves go. No, I'm messing. If you know this, brother, you know that wavy is definitely a good thing. And it's always good to see you in the room, man. Always good to see you in the room. And I have to smile because he's greeting Mama Java as well. Milagro is saying, in general, we all do it, politicians and others at work, sometimes even. Milagro said sometimes even for family. Okay. Uh-oh. I only know of one counselor who didn't show up like that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that didn't show up like that. I got you, Dina. I got you. In her authenticity and for the people. And again, it's not all, but it is a observation. Rich asked the question. Brother Doubleday made his comment as well. And so, but let's get into my question because we have about 10 more minutes before we get off of here. How do you handle performative engagement? And then for the last few minutes, we are going to check in about being intentional about our Black joy all the time, but especially, what are you doing this week? There are quite a few events that are coming up. This week, there is the Roxbury Homecoming Juneteenth event at Franklin Park. Shout out to Urban Heat that is a part of that. That's a very unique addition this year. So shout out to Brother Marv Neal. There is the event that Sister Vanya has over at the Eustace House in Roxbury. Brother DL and Brother Jeff, I believe, are going to be out in Hingham doing their thing. And so there's quite a few events going on. But beyond the events, how do we hold? And one of the things I want to do is at some point incorporate Kwanzaa into Juneteenth. Principles of Kwanzaa all year long. But how do we take the dinner? How do we take the, and I'm going to get in trouble, the holder with the candles? I almost said one thing that holds candles, and y'all would have got me up on here today. Rich is saying the list of people you listed as caring was extremely short, and that's it. I'll say this as someone who is a public figure and moves in advocacy, I often take critique. One thing that bothers me in general, and even more so from people that you think know, from people that I think know me, and in part of them knowing me, I got receipts on helping. I have tried to, over the past few years, with the exception of some, not say that people don't care because we don't know their hearts. And so while this is real for many, I don't want us to, considering even Milagros' point, there's some performance that I do. If I'm out somewhere and there are 10 people trying to talk and chat, and three of them I may not know, and one of them, we finish the conversation, I say, "Nice meeting you," and they look at me and say, "Jimmy, we met before, but I get it." There's that perspective, yes, to Milagros' point. But as much as generally there is some performance and engagement, when it comes to the bigger context of what I'm talking about today for Mental Health Monday, corporations, entities, elected officials, big time public figures who aren't Black, when they put up their post, when they, you know, the performance of it. So that's a little bit of what I'm talking about this morning. Uncle Thaddeus has said performance politics can be distracting. I've learned to stay grounded in purpose and let the work tell the story. Amen, sir. Milagro is also sharing, yeah, exactly. And that comes the fake smiles they show. Uh-oh. Y'all have to, and when we have the Red Cup Awards, if you have not met, I want you all that haven't to meet Milagro because I like her energy. Dina Marshall Tarver, good trouble. Hold on. Every time I see counselors show up, they all look for the photo ops. Just stand by and watch. I will also acknowledge that community always wants photos with them as if they are celebrities. And that is, here's another, I try to be balanced, y'all. Here's another perspective, and we got about 7 minutes left. My good friend and brother, Darren Howell, talks about the fact that if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And so, and listen, I am a social media influencer, content creator. I get it. Now, I will also be honest and transparent. Sometimes I look at my numbers of the last maybe 3 months, and my engagement numbers are low. Why? I'm not posting on social media as much as I used to. Life, budget, P3, mental health, trying to get this place together. My point there, to Dina's point about the documenting, taking the pictures, and thank you for the balance, sis, of they go and then some people do want to take pictures with them. That is very real. I would want to believe that most of the time, the people that want to take the pictures with the electeds are because it's a little bit, somewhat appreciation for their work, for that part of the performance, the performing in the job. I'm going to leave that there. The mommy says, informative engagement. You want to be as proactive as possible and move with purpose, but when it makes no progress, we lose the momentum. Facts. It takes a toll on the empathetic. I think empathetic. Have to keep fighting and the good fight. That last part, though I struggled with the word, some people say empath, some people say discerning, some people say a knower, whatever, however you describe the gift. I will be very honest. I have that type of gift. And a lot of times you all have seen me almost for the past year talk about things about what's to come. And so I'll just give some context for when I am in a passionate place and fussing. about performance, getting back to our point, it comes from the fact of what I see. And if we don't shift course, things are going to get interesting. Brother D, you've been helping out. Oh, man. You've been helping out since day one, my guy, James. Boston needs more genuine people like you who really care, because all of the unwavy claiming to be public figures are all locked up in stuff like Chuck Word is Bond. And Brother Chuck he was a true former city councilor. Chuck Turner was a trailblazing pioneer that literally stopped 93 from coming. You know where RCC is? A little bit, maybe a Blue Hole Ave. I don't remember. I wasn't familiar with the whole design, but that impact is what, to close out the point of Dina's point, that impact I'd want to take. Every time I saw Chuck, I took a picture because I respected his acumen and his performance in the job. Richard also says you handle the engagement the same way. You find how it benefits you and your cause. Some topics are just too big, and end goal remains the goal. So either call them out or find a way to make goal out of someone public figure list. So when it comes to big corpse posting and so on, I am just happy the message is out there. Most people with the sense know better. I love that the brothers are engaging here. It is to the point of you handle the engagement the same way. You find out how it benefits you and your cause. I guess, yes, to think about it. Well, I guess it now goes to what is the underlying issue. I engage with intent. I engage with in some levels with full intent. That men's summit I attended a couple of weeks ago, I probably attended about 60% of it. The other 40%, I was out in the hall, intentional, engaging, performing for community with some of these city councilors. We got to get ready to wrap up in 2 minutes. I hate to leave this out here like that. Brother D is also saying, you've been doing this since day one, my guy. Our city, I already read that one. Jacob Anderson is in the room. Thanks for the mental health check-in. Jacob, yo, this is so y'all hit a passion place when I say, yo, this brother came up to me at GBH a couple of weeks ago. A white brother, part of the LGBTQIA2S+ community. And I can't remember the exact statement, but he said something to the effect of, my privilege annoys me, or something of the fact. But Jacob, what's up, brother? Thanks for the mental health check-ins. There, especially important this month as Juneteenth and Pride. And I said that this is why we're having this conversation. As Juneteenth and Pride pull the hate out of the darkest areas, and it gets loud. I fly my Juneteenth and Pride flags proudly. Appreciate you. Stay strong and vigilant. Good to see you in here, brother. And I think on that good note, that is, I like the sentiment of his statement there. We got some good brothers up in here joining in the conversation today, and I hate that I got to end in a minute. Brother Jules, what's up, man? What's up? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. What's up, young fella? Sending love and positive energy and support. This, when it does happen, I can't wait to get this brother up on here. D, not that Chuck though, bro, is saying in general. I got you. Uncle Thaddeus is saying, going to ask you, how do you deal with people saying you had a performative interview? I deal with it, and I'm so glad you asked that question. You, Phoenix, asked it during the interview. Someone else asked me something around this. How did I evolve? Oh, it was Phoenix. I handle it like this. One is, and this isn't, toward anybody here. No, generally speaking, no one understands the complexity of what I deal with. And I will know Uncle Thaddeus, he may be talking about the mayor. No one knows the complexity of all the facets of those interviews. The personal relationship, the expectation of functioning like a journalist, the expectation of in that functioning like a journalist, keeping the ears and eyes to the community with an activist tone. And so that is the first thing that I would say. The second thing that I would say is that it is, to, I think, Richard's point and to Milagro's point, it is performance. One, in a very real manner, this space and being hospitable with accountability. There's a lot of dynamics there, and it just, how do I handle it? Let me go back to the exact question. Going to ask you, how do you deal with people saying you had a performance interview? I think to directly answer the question, watch those interviews since Peak 3. Now, but hopefully the context I gave there, because Uncle is definitely aware and knows of some of the complexities, but I also know his intent for asking that there. Dina, all right, folks, it's 10:32. I got to get off here. Let me order Uber right now so I can say, I can hit N and then be on my way. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, y'all are seeing me. I picked up the phone to do one thing and got a text. Although one tends to work towards things that align with them, it is important to do what makes you uncomfortable if it's for the people, if you're working for the community. I would say yes and no, Dina. Only, I think as an elected, yes. I think as activists, a couple of notes there, not paid. Some of these organizations got executive directors that are making a lot of money. Not paid, work full time and whatnot. And so they maybe can't take on to the point there. I know what you mean by uncomfortable if you're referencing to electeds, but on the other side, I was marching down Blue Hill Ave years ago, I want to say 2008. And it was a peace march, and people began to come to the window and yell. A couple of people had pots and pans and blowing whistles, and they were outside the window cheering us on. And in that moment, I realized we have to they couldn't come to the march. They may have not known about it. And when they saw the action, they participated at that time at what level they could. And so I hear you, Dina, just offering a little bit of balance. All right, folks, wonderful conversation. Brother D, some of them, I love the way he's framing this. Some of them unwavy public figures do it for the love and the likes on Facebook. And Dina, as I thought, Milagro, for some, it's 100% performance. And then for those who actually care, the performance part comes as second and not first. That helps me a little bit, I think, to Uncle Thaddeus's point. While I'm going to be me has grown and evolved a little bit. And I understand that serving someone a point, an idea, or a suggestion, you can have the same idea. But if I serve it to you on the top of a trash can with a whole bunch of energy, you may or may not hear it. But if I serve it to you on a platter, same idea, same suggestion, you might be a little more inclined. So, there's so much there. Uncle Thaddeus, thank you for that question. With that being said, we will not be here tomorrow live. I will let you know if we just pop on at 10 o'clock to see if you see a video or not, but we will not be here live over the next month. The admin side of Java with Jimmy, the consulting side is going to be closed. We will have shows, but there'll be a few days where there'll be repeats, rebroadcasts, because a break is needed and it's being taken. So with that being said, let me get off of here and get to where I need to be by 11, and I'm already 5 minutes late. And we will see you all on Wednesday morning, the 17th at 10 a.m. We're speaking with Brother Trey. I forgot his last name. We're going to talk about canopies in urban areas, climate change. Do we have trees? It's been hot. The shade. So we're going to talk about that Wednesday with the good Brother Trey, a speaker at TEDx Roxbury. Thank all of you for engaging in the conversation today, and we will see you all on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. As my mother's typing as we go out, Union Capital, you all get an hour today. Peace, everybody.